The Hub Radio.
On Hub Radio.
The Hub Radio.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Jam rock, jump where the thugs and camp at. 2 pound now within a van back. It in a your handbag, your knapsack, it in a your backpack. The smell of your girlfriend contact. Some boy not know this. Them only come around like tourists on the beach with a few club sodas, bedtime stories, and pose like them name Chuck Norris. And don't know the real hardcore, cause sandals are not back to. The thugs them we do where them got to. And won't think twice to shot to. Don't make them spot to, unless you carry guns a lot to. A beer tough thing come at you when trench town man stop laugh and block off traffic. Then them we learn pop off and them start chop it. With the pin file long and it a beat rapid. Police come in a jeep and them can't stop it. Some say them a playboy rabbit. Get dropped like a bad habit. So no bother post off if you don't tap it. Rastafari stands alone. I come for jam rock. Hey. I come for jam rock.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
I come to jam down where people are dead at random. Political violence can't done. Pure ghosts and phantom. The youth them get blind by stardom. Now the king of kings are called. Whole man to pick me. So wave on no one if you with me. To see this operation sick me. Them suit no fit me. To win election them trick with. And them down to nothing at all. Come on let's face it. I get our education's basic. And most of the youth them waste it. And when them waste it, that's when them take the guns replace it. Then them don't stand a chance at all. And that's why enough little youth have up some fatmatic. With the extra magazine in a them back pocket. And a bleach at night time in a some black jacket. All who not lock glocks at them a lock rocket. Them we fully up a current like a shock socket. Them a run a road block which but the cops block it. And from now till a morning no stop clock it. If them run out of rounds a broke back ratchet. Southside, northside. East coast, west coast. Yo. Cornwall, Middlesex and Surrey, y'all. Hey.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Jamaica, Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica. Welcome to 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 Jamaica.
What's going on, everybody? We are back on Tea Time on the Hub Radio.
.net.
You already know what it is. I'm Witty B.
And I'm Nene Banks with a Z.
Yeah, with a Z.
With a Z.
This is the show we highlight cannabis culture, the people pushing the movement forward, the community that's affecting, and everything just encompassing that topic.
Everybody.
You already know, everybody, the
Yeah.
scientists, the teachers, and all that good stuff. We've had a lot of good shows. We talked to John Sally the first episode.
Sure, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was dope. We talked to Easy E last week. I mean, Lil Easy E.
Lil Easy,
Yeah.
that was dope. dope.
That was dope. We got some food last time and all kind of stuff like that.
Eat on.
Yeah, it
Per
was
usual.
some chicken wings from my man that's from Messino Kitchen. It was crazy. That food was
Awesome.
amazing.
Shout out to him.
And then the first episode was Area 51 Extracts. Brought a bunch of dabs for us. So today we're gonna do something a little more serious.
Yeah.
I got set up for us. We're gonna have just a couple discussions on some serious topics. We still have a lot of fun. We're gonna smoke some shit. I'm gonna talk about what we got here today. And we're gonna get back into that Compton initiative talk. I got a chance to sit down with the people of Compton
dope.
last Saturday. Yeah, it was cool. My man Dre from the station invited me out, and basically we got to talk about the real concerns when it comes to the initiative. I got the initiative right here, actually. If you want to check this out, it's like 36 pages of shit. I ain't read through the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie. I skimmed through it though, and I got the basic idea of what the people of Compton didn't want.
Yeah.
Because what I thought was completely. I had some idea, what was going on, but I didn't know the full spectrum of what was going on. Yeah. So we'll talk more about that, and then we'll talk about what the people of Compton really want when it comes to redoing this initiative for their city. Yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about we have Miss Angel Regis Felix Skyping in from Pennsylvania, and she has a cannabis delivery company called PA.
I'm talking about.
I forgot the number. PA 47, some PA 20. I forgot the number. We're asking when she they deliver the cannabis to you. Yeah, and she's just really big on minority women entrepreneurship. She's a business owner of Femitech and a couple other companies, nonprofit organizations out in Pennsylvania, and I think they're doing something out in Kenya as well. Yeah.
So she's winning. So y'all want to see.
Yeah, she's winning. Yeah, if you like people who are winning, you're definitely gonna want to tune in. And then besides that, we're gonna have a couple discussions on some topics. The first one is gonna be fun. We'll talk about our favorite strains, and then we'll talk about some funny stories when it comes to our smoking life. You know what I'm talking about? The different situations we find ourselves in. So before we get into all of that, we'll talk about what we're smoking on. Usually I do herb of the day, you know what I'm saying? So we talk about what we smoking on when it comes to the flowers. I got like a mix of flowers. I actually just picked some up in the city of Compton. I ain't gonna say where, but it's super fire. I got two different strains here: Disney Monroe and some kind of OG. Yeah, you can check that out. It's super dank. It's fire. Like I said, it's two different strains in there, so the smell is a little mixed up. But today what I'm gonna do is a product of the day. So instead of talking about the strain, we have some wraps here sponsored by Empire Rolling Papers.
Look, and those are some dope looking wraps. You hear me?
Super dope.
I mean, how good would my selfies look if I take a picture with this thing?
Come on now.
I gotta check it out.
They look like, here you go, I'm pulling one out for you. They look like $100 bills. They crinkle up. Super elegant papers or whatever. Super flossy, super balling type papers. They come 10 in a pack. I honestly don't know how much. I haven't seen these in stores.
So 10 in a pack.
I don't know how much they cost for a single pack. I've never seen these in stores. I haven't seen these in stores yet. They just sent us a box to talk about and shit like that.
Well,
you can check them out.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. And we gonna smoke them right now. Light it up. They're super. You know me. I smoke blunts.
Yeah, me too.
All the goddamn time. Like I don't smoke nothing else but blunts. And I've been trying to kick that just because everybody been talking about it's bad for me and all that stuff. So
That's what they saying.
So I've been trying to find alternatives, but I don't like joints. Usually just because they burn out real fast.
They burn fast, and this is.
They get wet at the end when you smoking with a lot of people and stuff like that.
Shout out to the packaging, like it's so cute.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind purchasing this, right? I wouldn't mind purchasing.
But these here, like when you fill them, they're not like as thin and flimsy as like a regular joint paper.
Okay, well that's important.
Yeah, so they don't get super soggy and super wet when you like passing it back and forth if you got somebody you smoking with.
And it looks so real.
Hits super smooth.
So
Hits.
detailed.
I know they got the little blue line right there
Right.
for the code and everything.
I appreciate that.
You look
worked on
close,
this
all the
thing.
details, the numbers in the background, like all in the grain of the dollar and everything like that.
For sure.
I don't know if you guys can get a close up on this thing, but if y'all really look at it, like she said, flossing on Instagram and social media and stuff like that, you can really,
Look at that. Yes.
that's gonna give you some hits.
Yeah, that's
And like I said,
that might be
go ahead.
a good thing for you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been taking pictures of this shit all week long.
Oh, yeah,
I've been taking
real
pictures.
good. It looks just as good on camera.
Yeah. Here you go, take it. It hit real smooth, super clean. I like these things a lot. I'm glad I got a box of them. I've been sharing it with all my friends and my partners and everything. That I gave some out to Dre. Nene got some. Yeah, these are nice. I didn't know what to expect when they sent them, honestly. I'm not a fan. Like I said, I'm not a fan of joints, to be completely honest. But these, I've been smoking these in place of blunts for the last few days. They're extra long or whatever. Nice size to them. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to Empire Rolling Papers.
Shout out to Empire, baby. When I say it's hitting right, looking right,
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah. You can check them out on Instagram at Empire Rolling Papers. # Benny. They call these bennies. Rolling up a Benny. So it's not a joint.
Rolling up a Benny.
It's a
I
Benny.
put it in the song.
Yeah. So we're going to get a little conversation real quick. You was talking to me earlier about your life with kids and everything.
Yeah.
How's that going? Can you tell me your kids are like into hosting and DJing and you doing the same
My
thing?
kids are dope. Like, they're me all over again. So it's crazy, man. You just got to find that balance. They keep me busy. They just started back school, so I know y'all watch and feel what I'm talking about. Because, listen, they ate up the house the whole summer.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this?
You think it's cool? It's like you wait at the end of the school year. Oh, thank you.
For sure.
T came through with that ashtray.
She must have seen me searching like,
Yeah. When the school year ended, you can't wait for summer. When the summer ended, you can't wait for them to get back into school.
Listen, for real, because then I woke up this morning knowing I had to be at work. I'm like, okay, I got to be at work.
Yeah.
I got to be at work. And then I got to work. Okay, got to get them to school, get ready. Somebody ain't going to make it.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, damn, be back in school.
Yeah, that's how it be. That's interesting. I ain't got no kids. I'm definitely waiting. Not saying that I ain't had a couple chances to have, but I ain't got no kids right now, so I can only imagine how that be. I know it's a blessing and I ain't gonna say a curse,
Yeah, right.
but
It's dope, man. Because of them, I think that's why I go so hard. It
Yeah.
really changed. Yeah, I was in the streets and everything before them. Wow, but like now they here, they keep me together, keep me focused, and then because of them, I make it happen. So.
that's a beautiful thing too.
Oh yeah, that's funny because they definitely gonna be waiting to see footage or want to go and look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, let me see what you did today at work, Mom.
Yeah. So did they watch the show?
They definitely
Yeah?
have seen the clip. Yeah, we definitely seen the clip of it. Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope. So
we real open. Like they really know the real. They
that's
know the real.
dope. That's dope.
They know the real.
They support their mama. That's dope. And you support them. It's a beautiful thing. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for sure. I just feel like we be boxing them too much. You know what I'm saying? And I just keep it real. Like, listen, this is what it's like. This is what life is like. This shit costs.
Yeah.
The lights cost. My mama never had to talk with me. Gas costs. The fidget damn spare costs. So you have to start thinking now, what do you want to do? Now you can go to school, you could do this, and you could do whatever it is that you want to do, but you got to think about the cost.
Yep.
And the life you want to live. And then let's start thinking now what you want to do. Listen, I got footage on my phone. My daughter baked the cake last night. You understand? She baked the cake for 99 cents. She went to a 99-cent store, bought a box of yellow cake.
Yeah.
99 cent, baked the cake, y'all. She's so cold. She cut it and sold it for $1. She just like her mama. So the kids are confidence. Oh,
That's a
that
beautiful
cake
thing.
sold it for $1. So she spent.
When they understand
she sold
that.
8 slices and spent $1.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing when you selling them, not just telling them they can be anything they want to be, or when they can have a dream or whatever. But when you tell them you can have anything, but you gonna work for it.
Right.
And it's that work is a part of what you got to teach them. And a lot of kids didn't get that taught. They just got the pat on their
real.
back, and you can go out and do
So
that.
if y'all tuned in, make sure you talking to your kids.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Have conversation. Not just how was your day. Things like,
You already know. We're going to go into a break. When we get back, we're going to get into this Compton Weed initiative. And so, yeah, you guys keep on smoking, token, and loking in these
be
mean
right
streets.
back. Smoking, token,
Let's
loking.
take this money, Dre.
The hub.
Doing what you other niggas doing, what they moving. Ain't nobody flowing like I'm flowing. I'm flowing. You niggas bouncing down, but out this start the commotion. I'm about to start the commotion. I'm about to mix up the potion. Scientific notations. I'm about to blow us up.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
The Hub Radio.
I'm like a big hood, they don't wanna walk down, fuck that, I'ma get back in, I can never laugh. I ain't never slept in a few days, yo. And it's money on the line like two-way, yo. And I got it that lines like new pay, I'ma give it to him in the worst way, go. 20 hours, I'm 20 miles, I'm still climbing.
That's for
The Hub Radio.
Allow me to give you something to think about. Not everything that comes out of Compton is bad. I mean, we have Dr. Dre, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Venus and Serena Williams. That little girl with the dream made an Aja Brown. P. Diddy couldn't have said it better. This is the fairy tale, man. And fairy tales do come true. Because we got millions of cats that are coming up with that hustling spirit and drive. They got that mention, that drive. Bill Lyons had that drive to overcome all obstacles. Bill Lyons isn't just a clothing line or just a brand. It's a movement. Bill Lyons is Compton. Compton is Bill Lyons. Respect the perspective. Bill Lyons.
The Hub Radio.
What's going on, everybody? We are back on Tea Time on the HubRadio.net. You already know what it is. I'm Witty B. We are the show that highlights, cannabis culture community and everybody, and helping to push this movement forward and really make things happen as this industry is starting to take over. So right now, we're going to talk about the industry coming to Compton. Everybody knows already that California is like central when it comes to the medical marijuana industry. Right. And even though they're not the first to start really legalizing it like Colorado did, that's really because as a state, there's a lot more they want to do when it comes to regulating, just because it's an abundance of it here, and it's already so ingrained in the culture of the people. So what the people want, in even in each county is going to be different, and in the state compared to all the other states is going to be different, and the way you're going to have to regulate it is going to be completely different because it's already everywhere. It's not like somewhere like Colorado or Vegas where it's, once you start, it's going to be a complete boom in these places because there wasn't a whole lot of it there before. Yeah. Colorado and Nevada are both having some issues pertaining the industry, not because of the industry itself, but just because they weren't really ready for how much revenue this cannabis will bring to their, their situation. So with California being able to see this in these states, how they did it, they're going to be regulating different. And one way that is different here than a lot of other places, each city and each county has their own set of rules.
Right, okay.
So we have Prop 64 that basically protects patients and adult users. So you can, purchase marijuana at, licensed clinics and things like that all over California now, and you can smoke in designated areas all over California now. There's a couple other rules when it pertains to that. Now, here's one thing. Last show I said something about Rex, that you don't need a rec to have it on you. You don't need a rec to have it on you, but as I just learned, a lot of shops now, you're going to need a rec to purchase your marijuana.
Okay, gotcha.
That's just basic information I wanted to get into.
So, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday. So, you don't need a rec, but most of them to buy it.
Yeah, okay. Most of them. Yep. So I wanted to just say it to give a basic idea of like what I'm saying, because the rules and laws all over California and different. So Compton City is just now starting to really set their laws up. And this coming from, it's not necessarily a conservative city, but it's coming from a place that has a long history and drug violence and gang-related use of this product of cannabis. So along with a lot of other stigmas, there's that. But also, they have a lot of history of corruption in the government, and people are coming to use the city and not bring money to the city. People taking money out of the city and not bring anything back to the people. And so all that kind of combines of what their real issues are. The whole controversy basically started a few years ago when Asia Brown got elected. So like I said, the main voters here anyway, not all the people in Compton, but the main people who are voting didn't want anything to do with marijuana in their city. When Asia Brown first came in, she was for that because she was just, she was for the people. So if that's what they want, basically, without any information about the cannabis industry at the time, that's what she was pushing. Fast forward a few years down the line, she gets in contact with a few, as things are getting legalized in different states, and the laws are changing all over California, and Hollywood, Orange County, LA, the laws are changing and things like that. Okay, give us 1 second here, but sorry about that, folks. But yeah, so basically, as she started to get in contact, are we gonna hold on 1 second? Hold on 1 second, folks. We gotta figure some things out. So I think we're gonna have our So, but basically, when Asia Brown, we rewind that. Asia Brown got into office, and a few years down the line, changed her views on marijuana as she began to get in contact with investors from outside of the state and inside of different cities. Basically, seeing the revenue that can be made. So they came. Her and her council came up with this. What up, Dre?
I think I just come in and chime in.
Yeah. He knows a lot more about this than I do. So.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
No, like I said, so she came in. From what I can see, came in later down the line. Ended up changing her mind on a few different things.
I think that once, originally, I think that, and I'm not for sure, but I would just say that maybe she wasn't equipped with all the information in terms of how it would affect the city, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
It's more like, people don't want it, so I don't want it type situation when she first got in office. And that was more of a popular decision, you would say. But as time went on, as you see, like, it's getting legalized in more states, and we're seeing the effects of it, whether it be good or bad. We're seeing the effects.
Yeah.
And with that information, I think that she decided to maybe kind of change her angle on bringing marijuana to the city.
Okay.
But in my own opinion, like, marijuana's already in the city.
Yeah.
Ain't no getting rid of
Yeah.
marijuana. So I think to me it was more like, what part is the city going to play
Mm-hmm.
and marijuana come in here?
Yep.
And like you said, a lot of people were concerned about the security aspect of it.
That was the first thing that I saw. And before I got to go talk to you guys at that little workshop, that's what I thought was the main issue was, people worried about the break-ins and the violence that it might bring to the city and things like that. And that made my perspective being like, well, this is a positive community. This is a positive culture, and bringing, especially when it comes to shops, bringing licensed and established shops. Most of the time, they're positive in places that are selling a positive product. I didn't really think about.
Only thing about that is, and I'm with you. Like, there's not much violence around marijuana.
Yeah.
Per se.
Mm.
Because people that smoke marijuana, they're not out there committing crimes.
Yeah.
Marijuana, they're not tripping off of high. They're not,
Yeah.
ODing or anything like that. So, but the issue is, in the city of poverty.
Yep.
You're talking about a facility that we know has loads of cash because they can't put it in banks. We know that they got product there, and then you're in an area where it's not like people are hungry.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah, you're a target.
Yeah.
For some people.
For something to happen.
To show.
Yeah.
I need to go ahead and hit this, and a lot of times, in most cases, the dispensary won't report it because they don't want to have
issues for themselves.
Yeah, it's not good business for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And yeah, I think that's really when it comes down to is like my first thought was, you got to handle the issues in the city. You can't, marijuana's not bringing these crimes, not bringing these issues. It's issues, like you said, the poverty, the no representation of the people, the no, proper education and things like that. But you still can't just like with Colorado, you can't just throw everything in there at one time without dealing with these issues first. So even though, like I said, I would love to see in the city, like, the city gaining from the industry, I also understand you can't just crack it open and just throw everything, shops all over the place, because it's not ready for that. Because like I said, there is poverty. There's people out there who's,
the infrastructure is not really there.
Yeah.
For us. I've talked to a few sheriffs. They're like, man, we really can't patrol that and take care of that, not on the budget that they have.
Yeah.
Like they already don't have enough people, in their opinion, on the streets as it is.
Yeah.
So to add like a lot of different dispensaries with a lot of money, a lot of product. Like, they're trying to be targets, and crime will probably rise.
Mm-hmm. And I saw somebody else mentioned one of the issues was disruption of the federal funds, with a lot of things being funded by the federal government. They were worried about bringing this industry that's not federally legal into the city and disrupting that. Not are we getting this new money, but not being for sure how much it's going to be bringing in, being kind of timid on breaking these ties with federal funds.
The thing is this, to me, marijuana wasn't always illegal.
Yeah.
At one point, it was very legal.
It was legal to the point where you had to grow it.
Yeah. And then, like, what a lot of people don't know is, like, all this stuff is not new. All these extracts, all this CBD oil, all this THC oil, none of this stuff is new. They did this shit damn near 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So we have experience, or we have documentation as to how we see that marijuana affects us on a federal level.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was the federal government figured, okay, well, that's taken away from our medical side of things, or marijuana. Like, for instance, they was not even just medically. They make cars out of hemp.
Yeah, they can make cars. They can make
Declaration of Independence is written on
hemp paper.
You can make diesel fuel out of the roots and the branches of marijuana.
You can make protein and food. You can make it's like
right. It's so many different uses for marijuana. Now the thing is, everybody can grow it. So now, if everybody can grow it and everybody can do whatever, all those things with it, then that does affect the economy.
Yep.
Their economy, per se. So,
because with that being made, we can make our own economy. But I was saying that to say,
right.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, like, okay, now they make that illegal, for a long period of time, they criminalize it, make it sound like it's a gateway drug. It's the worst thing to happen to the human society. All while the whole time they pump us with opium.
All kinds of there's heroin and coke and all the drugs we use. Yeah.
All these other different things, and those things are legal because it's pharmaceutical. So they put it in our medicine. So I think that making marijuana illegal at that time, just so those other things can flourish, was great business on their part.
But it was damaging to like.
It was damaging, and they see it though.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna let it back legal.
Yeah.
We're gonna let y'all get it back because we see that we fucked up. But at the same time, we can't let y'all niggas get rich off this shit.
Yeah. We gotta find
We gotta figure out a way
to regulate. So you can't have too much, because if you could grow your own field of it, you could put yourself on in a year, and because like you said, you don't necessarily even have to be growing marijuana. You can process the hemp and be, like you said, making paper, making products for cars, making fuel.
There's so many different things. So many industries will be affected.
Yeah.
Once this thing is legal, it's not about it being a gateway drug. It's not about it being
never has been
criminalized or making new criminals. It's more about controlling the people and the the power.
Yep.
It's 1% of the world that has all the money and the power. If you let certain stuff like this go, like that 1% jack up a little bit. You know what I mean? And shit, they did the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol was illegal.
It was super illegal. You had to go to underground bunkers to drink it. Yeah, you couldn't go to a liquor store and get a tall can like.
No, it wasn't like that.
But
they figured out a way to govern it, make sure that they can in-house the money, and then it was like, yo, now y'all can get in on it.
Ridiculous. It's crazy.
It's like having action they're trying to get in on Hennessy before it was Hennessy.
Yeah.
Or Jack Daniels before it was Jack Daniels. Like all that is, it's all.
Here's the thought. Here's one other thing I wanted to shoot your way. One other thing that was brought up where people were afraid of how Compton was going to be perceived if they move forward into the industry. There's already, there's already concern because there's already a stigma around Compton and, what some people perceive Compton represent and the things that happen in Compton and all that, the past of Compton and things like that. So they're afraid that bringing the industry into Compton is going to make it, it's gonna further that view. When I saw it, I was just like, that just makes sense to me. I feel like this industry is gonna boom in the next few years. This is gonna look like the smart city. It's gonna look like the big industry city because this is gonna be big industry by the time that happens.
But the thing is, to me, is the thing that you want to highlight. Like, for instance, like I was saying, how they criminalized marijuana, made it the gateway drug. It was this, it was that. They criminalized it. They made it all bad. They brought out everything negative that they could about it. Same thing with State of City. They'll bring out all the negative aspects of it and bring light to that. The truth is, we can grow anything here because of the land that we're on. A lot of people didn't know that the LA River flowed under the city of Compton for over 100 years.
I didn't know that.
And it fertilized the land. And the dude E.B. Compton, first, the dude that actually founded Compton and bought Compton, white dude, Compton was made famous originally because he grew like a 200-something pound pumpkin or a squash or some shit and won like some World's Fair or whatever. And that put on the city for agriculture. So we can grow anything here.
So it's already made for that.
Right now we're highlighting marijuana and then what marijuana would do. But shit, we should not just grow marijuana. We should grow everything.
Yeah. And I hear about a lot of that in like the residential community. I hear a lot about. My girl comes from out here, and she said her grandma was growing a lot of stuff and had chickens in the backyard. And I hear about a lot of people with farms and in Compton and growing a lot of stuff in Compton. And to me, I was just like, that didn't make any sense to me in the inner city. Like, I don't get it. Like, why is it like so many country aspects and agricultural aspects and something that's like where so many factories and things? You don't really get that.
Yeah, the industry changed, and agriculture wasn't what was booming. It was, other things that was booming, oil and gas.
Yeah.
And, that transition was going on, so I think that we just kind of adapted to that. But yeah, like my grandmother stays in Richmond Farms, so that's an area of Compton.
Okay.
And it's like everybody in her neighborhood has like a half acre of land.
Wow.
Like that's unheard of in urban cities.
Yeah.
To have that much, but it's for agriculture. So when I was growing up, I used to go over there and we used to have like in the backyard like chickens, pigs, sheep, dogs.
That's crazy.
Horses, pigs, cows, goats. We had all that shit in our backyard.
And you don't really think about that.
No, well,
like we're coming from out of the side of the city.
But because of mainstream media only gonna show you what they want you to know about this particular
Yeah.
area. They're not gonna go into all that.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's no sidewalks. Like, you'll see horses walking up and down the street.
In Compton.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Go off Greenleaf in Wilmington, man. Go right into
I
it,
trip
man.
out. I see homie wearing the chain on, basketball shorts, tank top, and
And riding the horse.
riding the horse with the Nike.
bro.
Yeah,
I seen it. I see it
that's
all the
hard.
time, dog. I see it
That's
all the
beautiful,
time.
man.
I go over there, at least go over that way, like at least once or twice a week. Then I see this. So, these are the things that people just don't like really bring focus to. And like I was saying, like they'll say that, you know, the marijuana is, you know, could be the worst thing to happen to us. It's because that's what we want to focus on.
Yeah.
Like, when we not just grow marijuana, but when we, you know,
I want to go back to the agricultural state.
shit,
Yeah.
we can use that.
Yeah. That would change. That would lie. I mean,
It's a lot of preservatives and things in this store-bought fruits and vegetables that we can probably avoid if we were to grow our own.
if that was part of the Compton culture, like that would disrupt things so bad. Miss Nene, come on back. Let me get you over here. Let me, you can kick. Yeah, go ahead and kick it, Dre. Nene had to move her car. They was tripping. She was double parked on the sidewalk. She,
You there, number 3.
oh, let me see. Here you go. There you go, Nene.
It was tripping a little bit, but I'm back.
Yeah, she's back. Yeah.
I was enjoying the show.
Yeah. How was it looking from the other
It
side?
looks amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Look at Boss up there. Look at Dre
Yeah.
holding it
Yeah.
down.
I figured, I was like, yo, Nene had to run. I don't know what we had to do.
It worked
Hold me
out.
down.
It worked out.
I think I fell in.
It worked out.
Yeah, so no, I did not expect you to say the horses are somewhere in Compton.
That's a
I
trip,
thought that,
right?
You know, I come from St. Louis, so I thought that there was some stuff that was going on, you know,
Well, you-
more Midwest or something. But no, I got now I'm rolling
man.
through Compton.
I would
I
have
gotta
to-
check it out.
I don't mind taking y'all over there. We can really, like, I'll take y'all over there. We can really.
I'm down.
And
I'm with it.
We might have to do a show straight filming out in Compton.
Yeah, if you got the
I'm
homie
not,
was
I'm
there.
not familiar, so
I would definitely bring some cameras out there and get that because that's something that needs to be highlighted about the city for
I
sure.
Actually, just threw a Flashback Friday picture on my Instagram where I was growing in the garden, and this is my first time growing vegetables.
okay.
And, like look at this corn. Like, this corn is like
Wow.
Where you grow that in the
in
backyard?
the back.
And
my
you
grandma's
did this?
backyard.
How long did this take, Dre?
It was like maybe like a 2-3 month process. I grew for the whole summer, like spring.
That's
and summer,
crazy.
So
Yeah.
it was
I don't know
like,
if y'all can zoom in on that. Like,
And it
Jesus.
looks delicious.
it was
crazy,
fire.
ain't it?
Was it sweet?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. But that's look. Check this out.
what's that, watermelon?
That's
Oh,
watermelon.
it's my favorite fruit.
That's tomatoes. That's marijuana.
Oh, I got to see.
Y'all
How-
gotta check that out. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was a huge bush too. Huge bush.
Dang. And that's just
And this
definitely something to be highlighted. Like, you don't think about that when it comes to
That's
Yeah.
This
And I only
in
used-
his garden popping.
Yeah, it was booming, bro. And I have to get back to
Damn.
it, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's what's up. Real therapeutic. I need to get on it. As soon as I get a yard.
Yeah. So let me see here. So some other things. That's like Italian. Some other things. But what the people in Compton want, from what I saw at this meeting where everybody was talking about, here are a few things, and some things that I thought were big that they should adopt. Adopting a marijuana committee just for the city, somebody to regulate that money and that business, so it can be, it doesn't have to be mixed in with everything else, pretty much.
I 100%
Yeah.
agree with that. And actually, I have to go to the meeting tomorrow to present the idea of bringing agriculture to the city as opposed to dispensaries. I personally think that maybe we should steer away from dispensaries because it is a security hazard and all that. But hell, we got the land and we got the best land to grow in. I think that we should go more into the agriculture.
Look how much money in that too.
Yes, and that's what.
And then it's not just for smoke. Like we were just talking, like, yo, you can make paper out of that. The Declaration of Independence is written on hemp paper. They used to make. They tested out some hemp made
I
cars.
did not know that.
Yeah.
It was more durable than
See,
than regular cars. So
getting that plastic cars and things, like, it's crazy.
It was more durable than the metal ones.
The
Hemp
benefits
fibers
outweigh
are
the
the
bad.
strongest natural fibers, besides, like, spider silk and things like that. It's the strongest. So to make ropes, cars, clothes, it's the strongest natural fiber when it comes to that. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, right? And they
growing. If we're producing producing fields of it. Like, you know, it's so many different things that we can get into, and it's a lot of money.
Oh, that money will come.
And it ain't like, and that money ain't not like on some, you know, you hand to hand. Like, you don't know to go rob this.
I don't know if you want to smoke on camera. How you feel about it?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Pass that to me one time. I might try it out.
But yeah, from when it comes to the committee, because just from what I'm hearing, like I said, I don't know too much in depth on Compton City politics, but just from what I'm hearing, the people seem very wary of the inner workings of the government here.
Well, no one trusts the government here. Our government is like, it's just, you know, it's too much money has been coming up missing. Too many questions. It's, you know, like the city gets on average, you know, $300 million annually, and that's just from federal funds.
That's crazy.
That's not including the taxes that the people that own houses pay, or the business taxes, or, you know, things like that. Like the city get, and then
ride through the city.
The railroad tracks run through the city. That costs money. We got oil pipelines that run under the city. That costs money. The city's supposed to get paid off all that. I don't know if they are.
Because you don't really see where the money is going when it comes.
Just going with $300 million, we don't necessarily see where that goes. So there's a lot of things that we like, yo,
what's up?
Come on, like, what's happening?
I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's crazy.
Like, people would love to paint Compton as a city of poverty, and it's really not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
It's not.
And it's crazy because then you have somebody like me who's on the outside like, what? You know, because all we see is what we see on TV or what we hear. You know, that's all I've ever seen with Compton.
And I've been here for 35 years. I've been all over the country. And every time I go somewhere, they like, yo, you don't look like, act like, sound like.
Don't look, act, sound like. But
what that's supposed to be.
Then you be like, you never been to Compton.
I've been there.
Yeah.
What's funny is I was on Instagram. I think I seen like a open mic going down in Compton. It was outside or something, right? And so I was looking, and the first thing I thought about was, shit, I ain't going to no open mic outside in Compton. It's like, who finna get up there and perform in Compton? That's the first thing I thought about. But then, so maybe I need to check it out.
And it was dope, too. It was dope? Yeah, it was dope. I had a chance to go pull up and hang out for a couple hours. Okay. The city ain't as bad as people, you know.
It's not. A lot of people out here are really well spoken. A lot of people out here are really like business-minded, forward-thinking people. And it's like, when you get out here and really start getting to talking with people and meeting people, it's a lot different than that picture they paint.
And then on the political side of things, like again, like as far as like bringing marijuana to the city, like it's split with young and old. The young is like, yo, we get to smoke weed. Hell yeah, let's bring it. Yeah. It's like, yo, bro, you already can smoke weed. You already can grow weed.
Exactly.
Like, don't be fooled by just saying. You can. And then the older people's like, yo, it's a gateway drug. It's the worst thing that happened to our people. It's worse than cocaine, crack.
And that's what people need to be careful of right now. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. Like, the younger people got to get voting, but at the end of the day, it's like you really got to look into this, because just like they used anti-marijuana before to trick us in the older generation into being against it, they're going to use it now into tricking the younger generation into voting for whatever. So it's like, even the younger people are going to vote against it, so they know if they can get the majority of the people, which is the young people, to vote, and it just says you will be allowed to have weed on you, you will be allowed to smoke weed inside your house, or whatever. But the rest of it is, if you get caught with it here, you can't have no business there, you can't do this there, you can't do this, but you don't know that because you just see the first few lines. So you got to start reading the fine print. You got to
really look into it. Yeah, it's more than just saying, oh, we can do it. You really need to study up on it and get educated.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Prop 64, because everybody was so excited when it first came out, and everybody voted because it was like, yeah, we finally get to have weed, and then it didn't happen to the day, after it was put in, we didn't know it was all these stipulations and these laws on it that we couldn't do all these certain things. So yeah.
What's wrong?
Let me see here. We still got time? Let me see what time it is. We running over. I didn't even notice that. The conversation was so good. We gotta go into a break. We'll be back, and we'll be back, and we're gonna get talking to Angel Regis Felix from Pennsylvania. And she's going to tell us a lot about her entrepreneurship as a strong black woman. She likes to call it audacious warrior queen. That's her. That's a quote from her. So we'll get into that. All right, later.
Isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends sat at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. When we can, we let the story begin. We're going out on our first date. But you and me are thrifty, so go all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up the plate. So for hours and hours, about sweet and sour and how your family's doing okay. And leaving, getting a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. And I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Well, I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. Come on, be my baby, come on. 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 I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. Well, I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby, come on. Come on, be I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby, come on. Come on, be I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby, come on. Come on, be I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you.
Hello? What's good, everybody? We're back on Tea Time. We're connecting with our guest right now, Angel Regis Felix.
Hey.
Let me see. I can hear it. I can't see it, though. There we go. There we go. How you doing?
Hello, beautiful.
Great. I'm so excited to chat with you guys today.
I'm super excited to chat with you as well. You know what? I just got to go over your bio the other night, and it was definitely more than what I expected, and in a good way. In a good way. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what it is that you do. I know you have a delivery business out there in Pennsylvania. That's how I found out about how we found out about you. But then I learned so much more about your work when it comes to like women business and women entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So tell us about where you started and how all this came to be.
Wow. So I am Angel Regis Felix. I'm originally from St. Lucia in the Caribbean. Can you guys hear me all right? Can you guys hear me all right?
I can probably be a little bit louder.
Can you hear me all right?
There we go. That's perfect.
All right. So, like I was saying, I'm originally from the Caribbean and migrated here to actually Jersey by way of New York, and now I'm here in PA. And I know when you, my bio says that I am, actually, I just got laid off in March, telecom technician. But me being the kind of woman that I am, if I want something, I go after it. So that's how I ended up here in PA. I was working for an agency in New York, in Manhattan, in telecom. I knew nothing about telecommunications at all. And it's predominantly male driven. I was interested. You know, I would steal time away after work to work with the guys. And they trained me a little bit. I still didn't understand all the stuff that was going on with the equipment. And my thing was, I'm tired of working for an agency. I need a job with benefits that pays more than $13 an hour. That's what drove me to apply for a job here in PA. So I applied and it was back in 96. Companies would hire you, train you, send you out in the field, great benefits. I mean, it was great for men and women in telecom. So they called me and I was like, oh my God, now what? They're actually interested. I took a bus. I'd never been to Pennsylvania before. I came up here. They picked me up at the bus stop. I interviewed with everyone except the HR, and they loved me. And I was honest. I'm like, listen, I'm familiar with the terminologies in telecom. I'm not a technician, but I'm willing to learn. And that's what you guys said, on the app. You know, you're willing to train. So here I am. And that was me like about 20 years ago. It was scary because there's not many African American women or women from the Caribbean in this field. I'm telling you, like, I've worked in PA for a number of years. I was probably the only female, black or African American female working in the field. There's not a lot. 2017 didn't change much in telecommunications. And what that showed me is that we need more information out there, especially in this field. There's so much you can do in this field. People have no idea what telecom is, what it does, how do I get into it. You don't need a college degree, because I've trained people who didn't have a degree. They were just, they needed a job. They had a friend who worked in this field, and there they are. I've seen it over the years. So I'm just, when it comes to women in telecom, women in fields that are not, traditionally, where you would expect them to be, to set up shop or work. That's me. This is who Angel is. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful, wonderful kids. I love what I do. I love meeting people. I love entrepreneurship. I love encouraging people. And now we are here, fast forward, laid off in March after 20 years. And I've done a lot. I've done a lot of stuff in telecom, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. We just need more women. We need more advocacy. We need these companies like the AT&Ts and the Sprints of this world to do more out of not secondary, but even in elementary schools. When they have expos, tech expos, and I've been to a few in my kids' schools, we don't see these companies at all. We have parents, we have community members, we have faculty in these expos, but we don't see these companies showing their faces there. And these are things that drive me. I'm passionate about it. That's why I'm a fan.
No, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's like I said, that's a beautiful thing to see, have a strong black woman so passionate about business and so passionate about a business that, like you said, most young girls wouldn't even think about getting into, or wouldn't even think about thinking about. And you're advocating, advocating being able to build your own life in something that you can be successful in. Like it's so many white male dominated because they see the benefit in it. They see what it can be, can come from it. And you're trying to bring that information, just like we're trying to do here when it comes to marijuana, bring that information to the other people, to the other culture, the other side, and that's a beautiful thing. I
love it. I love what you're doing. Keep sparking
my
brain.
Thank you so much.
You're sparking my brain already. I'm like, wait till I leave here. I'm gonna look up.
I know, right? She is like that. It's like sound like it's like a super active, like somebody you would know about in the news that we'd be talking about on Facebook and these things. Like you're definitely somebody I think people should be talking about and speaking of, because that's a real beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yes, you know, like I said, and I've gotten it, been in the field. I am that gal who would drive around in the truck, the white truck, with her tools. That was me.
Yeah.
Clippers,
Was
fiber,
your-
Cat 5 cable. That was me.
Was your
Yes.
childhood, like, coming from the Caribbean, did that have a lot to do with who you are, with that drive that you have?
I think so. You know, I grew up humbly, and what we call the country in Denny Rivera, St. Lucia. I grew up in an extended family background with my great-grandparents, my grandparents. We didn't have much, but guess what? That was the best time ever. We got to create. I got to, you know, just do crazy stuff out there. We were always outside. You know, I mean, people would not, a girl today will probably not survive, you know, where I grew up, right? But it was great. It was fun. It was about family. It was about culture. It was about music. It was about growing, eating what you grow, marketplace. I mean, it was beautiful. St. Lucia is beautiful. And I am grateful today. You know, now that I'm older, I can appreciate it more, right? But when I look back, I'm like, I learned how to make oil. That was part of our lives. You know, byproducts of coconut, you know, fruits and vegetables at your disposal. It's just the bringing and seeing people work hard for what they need and what they want. And one thing I'll tell you about St. Lucians and most, you know, people in the Caribbean, education. They may not have anything, but they'll make sure that the kids get what they need to get that education, you know, and especially, you know, a lot of them didn't finish secondary schools, but they wanted to make sure that the kids got what they didn't have.
Yeah.
This is another thing that I knew that after I left St. Lucia, when I graduated from high school, you know, I had to, you know, make it on my own, you know. I wanted to make sure that whatever I was blessed with here in the U.S., that I'm able to pay it forward. In whatever that means. And that brings me back to working with Women Entrepreneurs of America years ago, probably about 4 years now. And I love that transition. I was still working full time. I met with Yolanda Lamar, who's been running this organization. We are about like 16, 17 chapters now. And I met her. I didn't know what it is. You know, when you have that thing, that feeling in your gut that you want to do something. Don't know what it is. I'm like, I'm 40-something years old. What is it, God? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing in this world to be more of value to my children, my community, and this world? And, you know, when I met up with her online, and I saw this, I think it's through someone else. And, you know, I'm like, well, that might be something I want to check out. And it's been a beautiful friendship. She's now my mentor for many years. And when I first joined the organization, I proposed to the board. I said, you know, listen, St. Lucia, we don't have all of this stuff. Entrepreneurship, you can, you know, network with men and women in business, and you have all these skill sets at your disposal. You could call someone, how do I start a business? How do I sustain? What kind of classes do I take? We don't have a lot of that stuff there yet. And I proposed to the board that, you know, if we can sort of have an arm of WIA, we call it WIA, to St. Lucia, to the Caribbean, that would be awesome. And they accepted it. So that's how I became their first appointed international ambassador. And this is something, you know, as long as I'm on this earth and God blesses me with breath and that energy, I am going to do something to help, you know, Caribbean, Africa. I've been, you know, it's been a great ride, and I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for where I am, the good, bad, and everything in between. You know, but this is a snippet of who Angel is over the years. So.
And it's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece of work right there. When did your ventures into the medical cannabis world begin?
Oh, this is gonna be so delicious. So, many years ago, I'm the eldest of 5.
Okay.
My youngest and my only sister, Olivia Diane, she was that, and I get a little bit emotional when I talk about it, so excuse me, and it's been a long time. In 99, she was diagnosed with, I'm so sorry, she was, every time I talk about it, I get, you know, it hits me. She was diagnosed with cancer. They lived in Brooklyn at the time. I was here in Pennsylvania. And you know how it is when you're the eldest of 5. You think that you have to be the solver of everything. You look out for your siblings, and that's how we were raised as family. You know, you look out, whatever you can do to help. I felt so helpless watching a 15-year-old little girl go through chemotherapy, go through radiation, go through, losing her hair, her hearing in one ear, and to see that cancer metastasize throughout her body. Within a year, when she was diagnosed, she passed away. And seeing that all of this stuff that was poisoning her system, that was supposed to help her as well, she had non-Hodgkin B-cell lymphoma, and it's just like years that just stayed with me. It's like a monkey on my back. What could I have done? I wish I knew more. Now, fast forward years later, you deal with it. You don't forget. I got in with Club Millie here on Facebook. We're looking into areas as far as the 420 group investing in marijuana. So I was involved in the group that was responsible for researching companies that we can actually, start investing in.
Right.
Man, that bug just, and you know how things come full circle in life? You don't know why that you have this thing that's lit in you. Now, when I look back, I'm like, it was God giving me that sign. It's that I needed to do something, be more vocal, be an advocate. And it's for my sister, Olivia Diane, what she went through and what she didn't have to go through. Now that we have medicinal marijuana, nationwide, it's not 100% yet. But you know what? Pennsylvania is going to go live by 2018. And so it was more entrepreneurial and that why I'm doing this, why I'm so vocal about it, why I'm so passionate about it. When you go on forums and you read about children, family members, people who have pain, chronic pain for years, you're taking meds and they're getting worse and it's not working, and people have, they're just discouraged. And you have this herb that's been here for God knows how long, thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we not doing more?
Only taken away from us for financial reasons. That's and the scary thing about it is disgusting, because, like you said, it's so many things that can be treated and helped with this in a such more healthy way that's not damaging our bodies and not killing us, as well as just sedating us. And it's just crazy, just because it's hard to make money off of it, or so hard to regulate the money coming from it. They would stop the use of all of it, and it's terrifying. They would let people go through all this stuff, knowing, because they've done the research. They know this stuff. They've known about the research. They've known about all this stuff for years. They're just letting it all be known, like, oh, now we're letting us get the research, and then now we're letting the people use it for medicine and things like that. And that's crazy, because they'll use coke and heroin and things like that, but they won't use. But so fast forward, that fire is lit inside of you. You get into the business of being an entrepreneur and an advocate. What is the scene of cannabis like in Pennsylvania right now?
Right now, it's quiet, too quiet. And then that's just from my perspective. I'm in a little town anyway, outside of 45 minutes outside of Philly. But you would think that that there would be more chatter, whether it's online or offline. Now, there are some groups and organizations doing their thing. I just took a class actually a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. It was a sea of medical professionals. It was amazing to see that group. It was great. There's not a lot of us in there, I'll tell you that for sure. And we need to see more women. We need to see more women of color. We need to see more minorities. And I hate using the word minorities because it's like that limiting thought. But we need to see more of us there representing in there. But it was great to be in that circle, to see that even the medical professionals here, and that's probably across the board, there's not a lot of training. They know their thing in their field, but when it comes to this industry, there's not a lot of training. We need more training. And when I meet people and I talk to them, I'm like, you know what? Even though you don't have to be an expert in this field, get in. You don't have to own a dispensary. There are other ancillary support services that you can provide. Just look at it as a brand new industry, and you got tons of clients that you can, you can build that relationship with. Think outside the box. Well, you have to, we have to really get in there and make an impact.
And that's a big thing. We was definitely just talking about that. There's so many other things this industry encompasses. It's like if oil just was discovered or something like that, or if something was just as, that's how you gotta think of it. There's a whole new product that everybody has access to, and there's no regulation on it right now. but within the next 5 to 10 years, it's gonna be just like alcohol, cigarettes, oil, paper. You're not gonna be able to get in on the top level. You're gonna be an employee. You're gonna be. This is the time, like you said, to get in on any level. There's people who do lighting for the different cultivation places. There's people who do jobs like serving and bud tending. But there's also people who can make paper out of this. People who can make protein out of this. And you can do that. You can learn how to do this inside your home. And then it's like you don't need a college degree. You don't need a factory. You don't need a laboratory to get in on the ground level right now.
Exactly.
And with the services that you're giving to the people, you don't need, like, it's just like an Uber or a Lyft or something like that. You don't need a big group of people to, service a small community with their medicine, with their, with what they need. And that's something that's, when it comes to minorities, that definitely needs to be tapped. Like you said, black people especially, that needs to be tapped. And there's also, when you talk about the advocacy, when I started doing my research in this industry, you will be amazed of all the black women I find at the head of the industry. But you don't see that in the mainstream. No. And we talked about this on the first episode. Khadijah Adams, the Knox sisters, and the list goes on of black women. And it's like, it's amazing. A lot of them are doctors. A lot of them are looking into the medical aspects of it and things like that. So we definitely need more people talking about advocating our side of the story.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me see here. Let's see. So I don't know how much you want to get in on your role in cannabis right now. Are you comfortable speaking on your business right now?
Well, right now, what I'm doing, and I think it's just important that, besides being vocal and being an advocate, training as far as myself, getting to know this industry a little bit more intimately. And I believe in, investing in yourself, learning as much as you can, doing the research. And I've been doing a lot of that, doing the research, learning, where do you fit in? How can you be of value to your community, to your business? What can you get into, as an entrepreneur? And I'm an emerging entrepreneur in this space, but I'm loving what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like I'm lit, like every day, 24/7. That's me, But it's great, isn't it? Like it's just so much, but then you can be doing so much more. Whether it's for yourself, as an adult use or recreationally, or as a business. And I would really like to see more entrepreneurs in this space.
Yeah.
So whoever I meet, I'm talking cannabis.
While
I'm learning, I'm sharing,
How have you been treated in this community as a black woman in the community? When going to all these different events and meeting up with these different people and telling your story, how has your experience been working in this industry?
Well, like I said, just connecting and seeing that what you think is really out there, it really isn't. There's so much, especially here in PA. When I'm talking to a physician assistant, even at the last class that I took, and she's telling me that this is the very first training she's ever had, or informationally or otherwise, on cannabis. And I'm hearing a pharmacist over here asking basic questions. How do we do this? What does the law says? What does the state regulation mandate? And I look around. I'm like, well, you know what? I have a lot of work to do, but I'm so thrilled that I took my time to prepare and to learn and to dig in and to research. So you have to be open. Just picture it. Years from now, this industry is growing so fast, as you know.
Yeah.
We can't afford to just sit there and figure it's the other person's business, it's the other group's affairs. We as African Americans need to understand that our children's children, this is going to become a viable option, and if not the only option, I hope, for them medicinally and otherwise. Why are you not more involved? Ask questions. Get involved. There are local groups, there are compassionate centers, dispensaries. You can just, walk in, ask questions, dig in, find out, research, get involved. This is part of your life. This is serious.
Yeah.
This is not a game. This is serious. Get in.
Yep.
You can form a collective. build businesses, grow, get into your communities, and get it in. This is, you have to get in. You have to get involved so we can be part of, you know, the decision making process. They don't understand that. This, you know, it's vital that we do that. So this is one of the things that really pushes me to do what I do. My company is registered now, and I'm working. Everything that I'm doing right now is to help fund it. And when it does launch by 2018, you know, that's one of my big goals. That, you know, PA24 Delivery LLC, y'all gonna know about this one.
Yeah, I heard it right here, right?
So the laws are changing next year. The laws are changing next year.
Yeah.
What are they permitting? What don't they permit now? Is it completely banned in Pennsylvania right now?
No. Right now in Pennsylvania, we have just medicinally.
Just medicinal.
Medicinally,
Okay.
right? And there's about 17 medical conditions that are approved.
Okay.
And I believe about 11 forms of ingestation. You know, so it's stringent, but yet it's here.
Are there
with something
dispensaries?
for us to work with for now.
Are there any dispensaries out there? How are patients getting their product out there?
Oh, but the dispensaries just got permitted the ending of June, I believe.
Okay.
They just got their permits, so they haven't really gone live yet. I did meet up with one of the first dispensaries here and his partner, and it was great having that one-on-one so they can see who I am, and you know, and vice versa. That's why you got to go out there, not just online. Go out and meet people. You know, it's important so they can, you know what I'm saying?
This generation forgets about that. They think you can just, you know,
Right.
shoot a couple emails in a text and you can't meet nobody face
You know
to
what I'm
face.
saying?
and shake
Yeah,
a
I
hand.
am that chick, the Afro-wearing African
Yeah.
chick. Look, I am
Yeah.
Angel Regis, and you're gonna know about PA24.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was great, but you know, they're not set up yet, so we're not like 100% yet. By 2018, supposedly, we're gonna go live.
Okay.
PA is gonna be lit live, so that's why, you know, we're at the, you know, I call it virgin ground here in cannabis in PA.
Yeah.
But you know, get in. When I talk to people, if you're in branding or you're doing marketing or sales or what have you, why you're not getting in here? Find out how you can extend your services in this industry.
Yep. And even if it's not legal just yet, get your plan set up, get your blueprint ready to go. Especially when you know just next year they're gonna start giving out those licenses. Be ready to get it in as soon as that happens.
Ready. Be the first on it. I love it.
You have you're part of a business, or you have a business called Femtech.
Femtech is actually co-owned because, you know, because of my love for technology. My partner and I, Celeste Jackson, she's into auto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we decided to form this company while I was still working, you know, full time with this telecom company. So one of the things that we want to do is actually to really engage with young men and women, especially young women, so they can know about the auto industry and, you know, telecommunications and the vast array of areas that you can get into, from engineering to design to outside inside plant. You know, being a fiber splicer, technician, equipment. You know, how the phone, how that cloud thing that you guys don't see, how my cell phone works. Yeah, that's what part of telecommunications is. When I worked in there years ago, I can easily disconnect and reconnect you. You know, we call it a switch. Yeah, I've done all this stuff. You get to see all this stuff. It is beautiful. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff that you can get into. So this is one of the things Femtech is about: technology, creating, designing, you know, especially equipment. And what we run into is that a lot of the equipment is not per se made for, you know, women. Not that,
Right.
you know, equipment has a gender, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Like, enough with the blacks and the greens. You know,
Yeah.
I want to see some empowerment, you know. So there's a lot that we want to do in Femtech with youth and with women in business and in technology. And this is one of the reasons why we wanted to position it. So when we're ready to launch, it's a lot of what we're doing. But I believe in, you have an idea. I like executing. You have an idea. This is what you want to do something about it. Ideas is just as good as the last idea that you had when you do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Figure
do
out the
something
steps
about
to make that
position it.
happen.
Position it.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I needed that. I needed that today. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we are. I think that's a beautiful little. Yeah, I think everybody's day was kind of coming to a point where we needed to hear something like that.
Like,
You know,
okay.
we
You right.
we were just talking about that earlier. You know, to get to to get to where you want to be, there's gonna be a lot of in between, and sometimes you don't think about that. All you think about is that end goal, and it's gonna be a lot of hard work, a lot of days where you're gonna want to walk away from it. But when it's something like you said, when it's a fire lit inside of you, you can feel that you're on that path. It's all worth it at the end of the day, and that's something that we need to teach the younger people, but that live in this instant culture where everything is, like you said, microwave. The life is just instant. Snap of the finger, swipe of the finger. You can have a relationship. You can have whatever you want. The things that are really important, even when you have a relationship, is to really make it something that's special. It's gonna take a lot of in between. That in between is gonna be what matters.
Absolutely.
Same thing with a business. That in between before you can be a millionaire is gonna make you feel like it's never gonna happen, but it can happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're really big. Okay, you know what? I think we're about to end up on our conversation here. I need to go to a break, but it was a wonderful time talking to you. This really was an inspirational conversation. I thank you so much for coming and joining us on the show here.
It was. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Hope to hear from you soon. You have a good day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're going in the break.
The Hub
Doing what you other niggas doing, what they moving. Ain't nobody flowing like I'm flowing, I'm flowing. You niggas bouncing out, look at this starting commotion. I'm about to start the commotion, I'm about to mix up the potion. Scientific notations, I'm about to flow with someone.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
The Hub Radio.
Like I've been hooked, they gon' put a walk down, fuck that, I'ma get back in like I never left. I ain't never slept in a few days, yo. And it's money on the line like two-way, too. And I got it that lines like new pay, I'ma give it to him in the worst way, flow. 20 hours, I'm 20 miles, I'm still climbing.
That's for the Hub Radio.
Allow me to give you something to think about. Not everything that comes out of Compton is bad. I mean, we have Dr. Dre, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Venus and Serena Williams, that little girl with the dream made it Aja Brown. P. Diddy couldn't have said it better. This is the fairy tale, man. And fairy tales do come true because we got millions of cats that are coming up with that hustling spirit and drive. They got that mention, that drive. Bill Lyons had that drive to overcome all obstacles. Bill Lyons isn't just a clothing line or just a brand. It's a movement. Bill Lyons is Compton. Compton is Bill Lyons. Respect the perspective. Bill Lyons.
And we're back on the Hub Radio. This is Tea Time. I'm Witty B. And we talk about the cannabis culture and the goings-ons on the inside and the industry and
You see what I'm
the people People helping to push it forward. The scientists, teachers, and the jello pudding. Nah.
I'm not finna play that impersonation was a little bit too damn good.
You know,
You find out you be at home.
I can talk like this all day. Right now, we're going to get into a segment I like to call favorite strains and funny stories. See? Yeah. So, really, we're just going to talk about some of the best weed we ever smoked, and some of the good times and best conversations we've had while enjoying the marijuana. Yeah. So,
I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm ready.
So, I like a lot of different strains. When I first started smoking herb, you know, I didn't really know too much about it, but it didn't take long for like me to get into it, because we in California and weed culture out here is big. So it was the area I was picking up from. It was like a cul-de-sac. It was right across from my high school. I went to Ocean View High School in Huntington Beach, and right across the street, my homie lived over there, and it was like a little cul-de-sac area. So in this cul-de-sac, it was 3 different dealers, and we knew all of them. One of the dudes went to school with us. 2 of them were like 2 older dudes, and so they were always, a lot of the times, they would have different shit. So it would be like, before dispensaries were popular, we always had choices to go. And these guys were all into that stuff. So it was dope. It was like all 3 little younger dudes, younger white boys or whatever. They always had some heat on them. So we would go, and this back when you could get a 10 sack and smoke all day long or whatever. This is only like a couple years ago. We would go. I remember we had some shit called Shark something, Great White Shark, or some shit like that. And we got it from the one homie. And around this time, I was on a computer looking at like a lot of Illuminati crap. I was real deep into it. Like I would go home and I would YouTube tunnel into the dark void of Illuminati. So I was everywhere I went, I was seeing eyeballs on stuff and triangles and everything. You know how everything was suspect. Everything. We went to so I wasn't even gonna tell this story, but this is a good one. So we went to Disney. This is back when Disney was, you could, save up a little, a cool couple weeks and go. You ain't had to save for a year for you and your homies to go to Disneyland. So we, Disneyland is like $200 right now per ticket. And it's 2 parks. That's only for one park. That's only for one side of the Disneyland. So this is back when it was like, $70, something like that. Like once again, only a few years ago. Went out we got stupid high or whatever, went inside the Disneyland, and they have a shop. The shop has a big ass eyeball on it. Like, there's no reason for this place. It's like a Disney, like a goofy, like, it's like they showing clothes, but it's a big ass eye with the triangle on it.
With the triangle.
And we never noticed. We've been to Disney all kinds of times before. We always kick it or whatever, but we never seen it before. So we go inside and we see a shirt. It's Goofy on there. He's like meditating with the third eye open on his head. It's like a triangle around him. And the saying on the shirt says, "Ignorance is bliss." And we're like, oh no, what is going on? So it was like, we was like, am I tripping right now? But that sounded like they promoting some ill shit to the kids. And a couple of times, like, it's always been like, usually the times I'm tripping hard, like, now I'm real, like, I got super high tolerance. It's rare when I get like super paranoid. But in the earlier days,
just getting over that part. Like, I'm still new to it, so like I'm not too familiar with the strands or whatever. I'm just getting to the point where I can blow and keep blowing, and I can still carry on and do what I need to do. Cause like I was just maxing out like not too long ago. Like, hold on, he was like, just chill, and I'd be like, somebody comes, just paranoid. And
what's the craziest paranoid story you've ever had?
You not ready? Listen, the craziest. Okay. So when I'm high or just I'm gonna tell you. So the first time, it was my first time smoking in my adult life, right?
Okay.
Where growing up and in high school and everything, I was smoking for peer pressure, right?
Yeah.
So and then wasn't even hitting the blunt right.
Yeah,
so
you
then
just mouthing
I was
it.
like, no, it's cool. Got all that. Then I was in the studio and everybody blow. So of course, they're like, you feel a little beat when you blow. You gotta smoke this.
Do you feel a beat when you blow?
Damn, I feel a beat, but I'm gonna smoke a little beat, so I feel a beat. So I smoke a little bit, and then it was just a little bit, y'all. And so I'm supposed to be, this is a paid feature. So I'm supposed to be doing a feature, and I do music. So, thank you. So when I tell you, I got so high, y'all, we had to cut the session. They was gonna have to call 911. I told them my heart was beating so fast. I couldn't function. I couldn't do the verse. I was like, y'all gonna have to call the police. I was like this, and then I feel like a cartoon. I feel like I was moving like this. It was crazy.
That's
I
hilarious.
embarrassed the hell out of myself that day. I didn't do the feature, and now I'm here smoking on the cannabis show.
Which is crazy because you had dabs the other day and was you had some.
That ain't good.
I'm surprised you ain't freak out.
Okay, so that was the first time dabbing, and that was crazy. I was scared. Like, I never would bong or do none of that. And, like, I still, like, even smoking with other people.
She said she never would bong.
Do none of that. All the extra shit, no. You know, in the hood, like
I love it.
We just relos. You get a relo,
Yeah.
and then, you know, so I've never really seen the other shit except on TV, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I see people going with the bongs and dabbing, you know, we look
That shit
like,
look weird.
Let's just smoke it, you know.
Because when you especially when you smoke out like a piece or something like that, it look when you coming from the hood, that shit look like other shit. Yeah, that shit like.
You know,
that was my in the beginning. That was my aversion from pieces. When I moved to Orange County, everybody was smoking out of pieces. It's just like part of like that. You know, I ain't gonna don't take no offense to it. More white people smoke out of pieces than anything. That's just part of what they do.
Yeah.
But when we, like I said, when we see that, it look like a pookie pipe. And it's just like it causes a mean aversion to that.
It's like, hold up. It's look, you know, feel right.
Yeah.
You know, but
so I got used to it over time.
I'm really starting to get into like the different ways to use it. Well, you know, now
how you feel about edibles?
I don't like it. About what?
Edibles.
Okay, so I have not. Okay, so I've tasted like a sucker, and it was horrible. I don't think I've really had an edible that was like, I haven't really had it. Like, you know, people had brownies and shit like that. I had some weed.
I got a story too.
I had some nachos from a dispensary that was supposed to be some weed nachos, but I mean, I don't know if I was high from that or just because I was blowing.
I got a story to tell. So, we got a couple minutes. I gotta get this. My mom's gonna hate me for telling this story. But it's my mom, but I ain't gonna say her name. But it's hilarious. So, a few years ago, I was getting to making edibles. Me and my homie, we was making mad edibles. It was during I don't remember if it was Halloween or 420.
A lot of shit.
Before I was into all kind of shit. You don't even know. But we made a bunch of edibles for this party, and so I brought the edibles home to my mom or whatever, and I was putting them in a Home Depot Tupperware, like a Home Depot, one of them big tubs, because I had a lot of plates, and so I was stacking the plates and put them in the tub. And so she saw one of the plates. My mom's a sugar fiend. So she was like, ooh, what's that? I was like, oh, it's some desserts for the party. And, of course, she was like, oh, let me add some. And I was like, you don't want none. She was like, why? Is it weed in them? I was like, yeah. And she was like, it was a big piece of spice cake. It was cookies, brownies. It was all kind of stuff. And it was in the middle was a big, chunky piece of spice cake. And she was like,
nah, mama.
And me knowing this ain't gonna kill you ain't gonna die.
Yeah.
And also me not knowing like how high my tolerance was. I was eating this. While we was making, I was licking the butter off my fingers. I was eating cookies all day. So I was lit all day. So my tolerance to it was completely different. Yeah. She ate that big piece of spice cake. She ate the whole thing. And so I left out to the party. I come back the next day, and she was like, "Daniel, don't be doing that. You be doing that driving, and you be all that in the studio." She was like, "I was in the bed, and my foot was twisting around, and I didn't know what was happening. I started laughing. I couldn't control the laughing. I didn't know why I was laughing. Couldn't stop laughing." Oh my goodness. She was laughing. I was laughing so hard I started crying. She wouldn't look myself in the mirror because I didn't know who I was. And
oh my God. I was so damn high. I was praying to God. I'm like, Lord, please.
My mom was a trip though. Like I remember one time my uncle sent her one of those little maze games that pop it up in a scary thing, scare you. My uncle sent it to her, right? So she playing, and this is when it got popular, so nobody knew about these things. She played the game, it pop up, she freak out. She run in the bedroom. She in the bedroom for like an hour. She can't come back inside because she don't know what's going on. She come back out. The face is still on the computer. She throw a cover over the computer. So my mom's a trip anyway. But I love you, man. I'm the only child.
Are you?
Yeah, me and my other voices in my head. That's it.
You the only child.
Yeah, she was done. I mean, I've been a good kid all my life, but she was not with it after that.
Okay. That's what's up. So mama got her off the spice.
Man, but she with it though now. That was the first time she ever had anything. So like,
she in and out though?
But she's dabbling here and there. You know, she does it for a lot of different things. I've been introducing it to her here and there, things like that.
Let me tell you what's funny. So my mama, she ended up seeing me because my fiance shared the video from the first segment. So mind you, nobody knows that. Like I told you, I only blow with my man at home. So this is me doing this is extra. I don't smoke with people. I smoke at home. You know. She gonna call me, tell me something. I see that yellow shit. What they got you up there in California doing? You know, don't be selling your soul. But no, I'm like, no, mama, what's the cannabis show? Why do this now? You know,
Yo.
Like, damn, and so he done shared it and she'll see.
She said, I see that yellow They got you up there doing the heroin. We got to get into a break. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in 5. We're going to get into some serious discussions after all this fun. Hey, yo, Dre, let's make this money.
See, like, every fucking thing about it. Why am I mad, Ali? Why am I mad? Because it's bothering me.
You like the show or something?
The show is cool, but why am I hot other than that? You tell me why you hot, nigga. Your life. Just killed the show, nigga. Everything make me hot, man. Whatever that is. Cut that old shit off, dog.
What's wrong with this nigga? Nigga bugging, dog. Nigga tripping, bro.
So what you rush me over here for? How was your day? Are you tipsy?
All I need in this lifetime, pussy and Patron, give me that. Once you give me that, once again it's on. Bitch, I'm swagged up, hoes popping when I'm off that scoop, coming down clean. Tell your baby mama what it do, where your friends at. I got long dick, what it is, gon' poke it out. Situate your little positives, how I live, big shot, on my grind already. I'ma lay it down like a carpenter. When you let me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that cushy stuff. I can't get enough if I offend you. Blame it on the liquor, babe. Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that cushy stuff. I can't get enough if I offend you.
I wrote this song when they drove home and caught that flat in the main G flats, and it made me think if we only could blink to change locations where we at. We often get lost in the alcohol bottle and attempt to ignore pain, problem, and sorrow just for a minute. Then back to the bullshit, your car no do, and you about to get evicted. True drugs, you need Patron, pussy, make it feel alright. But once it's empty, hand that bitch leave, then it's back to life. You can't run from it, gotta run to it, nigga. The antidote wouldn't last, and you know it, nigga. But still, you proceed to dive deep. Ask what's her zodiac sign.
I'm going through something in life, but pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice. I'm going through something in life, but pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice.
Okay, welcome to my diary. Where should I begin? Finna get a swisher and fill it with at least a gram. Crackers watch my every step. Man, I hate to work for them. One time I tried to work for me, but that shit didn't work for me. And here I am, stressing, questioning my direction, man. What to do? Nothing's moving. Traffic jam. Wiggle through it. Pop the cork and take the fluid. Bust that pussy open. Bust that pussy open. Bust that pussy open. So, balls deep. You retrieve relief. You dig? Let's kill a bottle of tequila and lie butt naked telling the truth. What's up? I had a long day and I really wanna fuck. Take a double shot to the face and forget about my whole day. Cause all I've been thinking the whole day.
Going through something in life, but pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice. I'm going through something in life, but pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice.
All I need in this lifetime, pussy and Patron.
Everybody, we back on. It's your boy Witty B. This is Teen Time Club Radio. You already know what it is. It's the show we talk about cannabis culture and everybody hoping to push the movement forward. Right now, we are going to get into some hard topics. I feel like while I have a platform, while we have a platform and ability to speak to masses of people and groups of people, we should talk about things that aren't being talked about. We should talk about things that are really important, especially in Black culture, African American culture, and in our communities. So we just gonna have open discussion. I'm not really versed in these things too much. You know what I'm saying? Our angle is we just regular people having these conversations, getting our opinions on these things.
And we just talking.
So my first topic is going to be dealing with and understanding male depression, or depression just in men, especially in Black men. Okay. This is something that it doesn't get talked about at all, and it's because of a stereotype that we as Black men adhere to and we take on, that we have to be strong, we have to be the rock for the family, we have to take on a lot of duty, and either whether we are able to or not. And then when we break down and we mess up and we can't do these things, or when there's other things that happen in our lives, we feel like we can't really break down on these issues. Yeah. We can't really express too much on these issues. We don't, Black men, as Black men, we don't really cry, or we don't like to show ourselves crying. Right. We don't like to have the hard conversations about how we feel, how something makes us feel, like if,
And this is broken from the upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling like, because that's what I would think. Like,
yeah.
How you, because I can't, up until, that's why it's important to talk about it, because up until this conversation, it's nothing that I'll sit down and just be like thinking about, depression, unless you know someone or are going through. But I guess it is tough, because I'm even with my son, and I'm gonna be honest, and even with him, you growing up, stop that whining, or this and that, and then it's just.
And you don't think about it.
You're not really thinking about it, but I guess
and you raised to kind of just hold that all in and just swallow that and hold it down. But what that turns into, it just turns into mad aggression. And so when a lot of people think of like Black men and the issues, they think of being aggressive and being angry and being hard. It is a lot because the community where we growing up and having to defend our things going on. But a lot of it is just because when these things happen, or when certain things happen, we're taught to hold it in and just to go through it. And
I teach him in spite of me saying, "Hey, stop the whining," or when you say this and that. No, we are all about, you need to talk. And if it's something how you feeling, I'd rather you say, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling," and let's address it. So it's all about talking.
Yep, that's the main thing.
Letting it out.
Men, as children and older men, need to understand, like, if you have anybody, you can find anybody, a friend, a family member, your partner, your wife, whoever, you're with, whatever, if you have a manager that's willing to talk to you, if you can find, some counseling or whatever, if you really feel like that pressure is on your chest, the best thing to do is just find something to talk, just open up and be vulnerable to somebody you feel comfortable, you're comfortable around. Because that's another thing, as you get older, you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want a lot of people getting in like that. You don't want a whole lot of people knowing about what's going on, and you don't want to be seen as weak. Yeah. So but
you gotta switch up, and to be honest, you really gotta. If you are going through, I feel like especially for the Black men, I think that because of how they grow up, sometimes could be kind of don't be so comfortable. Like, if you gotta switch your surroundings
Yeah.
up because your surroundings are enough people ain't speaking life into you,
Yeah.
then that means that you might need to, you need to look at some other options. Maybe you need to remove this person or this situation, and because I feel like the black man don't hear it enough.
Yeah.
You know how strong he is, and I know that you're saying that we grow up that he's supposed to be so strong, but I think that there's other strengths that we aren't acknowledging, like, you are this and you are that, and I think he needs to hear it. And I think that, shit, if you ain't feeling that way, another thing you need to do is watch your surroundings.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
Yeah. That's what, like we said, when you told me that, like, I was talking about it with my girl the other day, really break it down. When you having these issues, break down everything. If you got to write it down, or, if you got to, me, I like to talk to myself. I talk to myself and I break things down in my head. But if you can if you could be in a way where you can kind of picture it or visualize it, everything that you want to change in your life, or the things that's causing the issues in your life, and really tackle the things that you can change. Like you said, you have power to do all these things. It's when you don't get the information. It's when you don't have that encouragement. It's when you don't see a way out. You feel like you're in that box. But there's always something that you can do to change your surroundings, to change your life, to change your path.
Everything. It's something you could do about everything. One thing about me, and if you're watching and if you're going through any situation you could literally, like, straight up change it. And it starts with you and your mind thinking. So you have to believe it. That you have to believe that you can change. You gotta work towards it. Listen, whatever it is, I make sure every day I'm crossing something off my to-do list, working towards it. So if it's a business I want, if it's a better attitude, because I could get a stank attitude, and I have to check myself, whatever it is. I mean, meditating, if that's what I do, whatever y'all do, you can pray, you can do whatever you do, but you're gonna have to take that time out and make it happen. Cross something off the list every day, and then that's something I like. That's therapeutic for me when I'm feeling sad. If me accomplishing some shit, moving up the ladder, it's therapeutic for me. So if you're going through, maybe you should be like, okay, well, today I want to be a better damn it singer. So I'm going to look at YouTube and I'm going to hit some runs and I'm going to record myself singing. I don't care if only you see it. You move one step closer till tomorrow, you're going to be that much better. So, I think something need to check into that.
That's dope. So we're going to get to the next one. That kind of leads into the next thing I want to talk about, which is another hard topic to talk about. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it's something big that's going on right now, in not just in America, but all over the world. Rape culture, domestic abuse, and just abuse, period. And when it just comes to women and how society views women and how the male, I don't know what the percentage really. Because I'm not well versed, but there is a percentage of men, mass percentage of men that treat women like objects or less than or punching bags and like I said, it's a good segue coming from that male depression, because that's not how you deal with these issues.
And since we're talking about male depression, a lot of that comes from a lot of women, the upbringing they've seen, their mother treated a certain way or whatever, and we being talked to about our strengths as well. So we allowing this type of shit to go down. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's all about how you raise, the upbringing, what you see, what we allow, because that shit's dead. And like, some men don't even want you working. They don't want you to make more money than them.
I saw something like that on Facebook today. My girl saw it on Facebook. Some guy talking about I wasn't no girl that made more money than me. That was the most stupid thing I ever had in my life. So if you making $10 an hour, but for some reason you found you a girl that making a salary, she ain't making no money per hour, and for some reason she fuck with you, you not gonna ride that way. You not gonna love her.
I know some girls I used to hang with. You want somebody with more money than you do. What you do, you're not finna have that type of power over me.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Maybe your wife and it's our money. I'm finna get my coins, and it's none of that. I never had the mentality of, he gotta have more money than me. Look, this what I got. I know what I'm finna bring. If you ain't got that, we gonna get that together. I'ma show you how to get that, because I'ma have that.
Especially in like hip hop and shit. Especially in the well, I'm not gonna say just the younger generation of hip hop, but what's being seen a lot in the younger generation of hip hop with these. But you can, a lot of stuff was really undercover with the older generation. So I can't speak on too much of what happened. we know of some things, but there's a lot of people in the young generation, a lot of young cats that are just tripping, like doing stuff you can't be doing. And I will say this: women, nobody should be putting hands on nobody. If the conversation y'all having or whatever's going on between y'all is getting to the point where y'all feel like y'all about to physically fight, y'all somebody need to walk the fuck away.
You talking about a man and a woman?
Man and a
Let
woman.
me tell you something. I seen I don't know what a clip I seen on social media, but I made sure I set my sons down because even the little girl in the complex, she put you don't put your hands on my son. I get it. My daddy to this day don't get a woman. I'm with it. But we also got to start with teaching our daughters. My daughter, no. Don't you put your hand on your brother. I don't care if he's only 10 months old.
Right.
You're not going to put your hand on your brother. He's a boy. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, you don't know what type of day he done had. It just take that one time, he going to knock you out because you ain't learned your boundaries. So I'm not saying it's okay for men to do whatever, but I'm saying.
No. Not at all.
Nobody should hit nobody.
Nobody should be putting their hands on anybody.
Especially young men, listen.
And when you do put your hands on somebody, for you to act like you still have rights to be protected.
Help me understand why you just hit this man 3 times and he hit you 1 time.
And you going to tell your family to go shoot this man, to go kill this man, go get the cops, arrest this man. But you were just beating on him, he bleeding.
Baby,
No.
I know something. You up in this, you being in his face alone like this, because I got a bubble. So you being in my bubble already is yet alone enough.
Yeah.
Then you spitting and you doing, then you hit me, and then now the police gonna get there. I'm automatically gonna be locked up.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it go. I know that. They used to do it in the hood. Yo, man, you want I call the police? You know, when they come in, he get in trouble. I mean, it's just
how they go. It's the culture. It's how it's this. It's that undercover way that people are talking. Like I said, where I'm really saying at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, all the domestic abuse, especially with the young people and with the young men in hip hop, that has to stop. That y'all can't do it. But like I said, at the same time, on the other side, you gotta stop as well, because that getting taught, like, okay, because what's getting taught is you can't hit a girl ever. You hit a girl, you gonna get your ass whooped, you gonna get beat up, you gonna get put down. If girls get taught, don't let them don't touch you, don't do nothing. But they're not getting to, like you said, you gotta teach them. You can't.
Those type of men have to find their power in something else because they're weak.
Yeah.
So they find power in the fact that when I raise my hand, your eyelashes flinch a little bit because you're a little scared. They like that type of power, and they got to find it in something else. You need to go meditate, smoke some weed, and then you need to figure out, read a book, do something else to feel powerful. It ain't hitting.
And that's a big deal,
It's not hitting your chicks.
That's because that's making. At the end of the day, it makes you hella weak, extremely weak. Not necessarily because she's not able to defend herself, because anybody can pick up a gun, a knife, and end your life. It's because and usually in these situations, they don't want to fight you back. They don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, and then it's just an unfair fight. It's like, when somebody, the big bully trying to, fight a little bitty, wimpy looking stick. It's like, really, that's so unfair. If you did whoop their ass, it don't count.
Yeah.
It don't count.
Yeah.
You don't get no strength
You
for
get
that.
nothing.
It's unfair.
So we're gonna get into the next one. We still got some time. We might going back and forth. After this next one, we might go back and forth between some of the topics. It's pretty good talk. It's pretty good. But I do want to get into this Unite the Right rallies.
Okay.
So they had one. It was Charlottesville. Was that Kentucky or some shit? Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Where's that?
That's it.
Am I right?
Is it
Kentucky? Where's that? Where's that at?
I think it's
Charlottesville. Where's Charlottesville? Virginia? Not Kentucky. It's Virginia.
Where's Charlottesville?
So they just had these rallies with the KKK, a bunch of neo-Nazis and white supremacists and things like that. And what tripped me out about it was just the amount of people that were at these rallies. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because you usually see, like, you see, a couple people here, and then you see this little rallies, and we little small groups, 20 people, 10 people, 15, maybe. It was like people filling the streets with flags and all kind of stuff. And then I was watching, like, the interviews of these people, and, like, because at the end of the day, my thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm all Black Lives Matter, because I do, like, we're getting treated like shit, and at the end of the day, we gotta fight for that. We have no other choice but to fight for our rights. But at the same time, I'm also about human rights in general. So I do want us to all be seen just as the same as humans at the end of the day. Until then, we have to fight for our rights. We have to, because our situation is completely different.
It's so different. That's a conversation we need for another show.
But when I'm watching these things, so I'm like, okay, let me watch this to see what they talking about, to see what they protesting about. Because like when people are protesting, it's usually like when the Hispanic people they sending they kicking their families out, you know, or whatever, the immigration or the black people getting killed by the cops and things like that. So when they're protesting, it's usually about something serious. I'm watching it, and they literally protesting, talking about the white people need a voice. You know, we are superior. We don't want to. So it's just trippy. We're gotta go on break and we'll wrap this up. But it's just trippy to me. It's like when people were just aggravating. Nothing is that people were like, you can't protest when these people are protesting. You can't go and these people are they have the right. You do have the right to protest. But if you protesting nothing but hate and violence and you know just foolishness and racism and bigotry, then yeah, you first of all you got to expect a lash back. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. It's like we have the right to lash back at that because we're not gonna allow that. But we gonna talk. We gonna get in the break. We're gonna come back. We gonna finish up in the final thoughts. All right, Dre, let's make that money.
Cleanup Man. We provide professional, affordable, dependable services from carpet cleaning and upholstery to flooring, 7 days a week, same day or by appointment. So call, text, or message 562-279-6488 for service as good as advertised.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
Allow me to give you something to think about. Not everything that comes out of Compton is bad. I mean, we have Dr. Dre, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Venus and Serena Williams, that little girl with the dream made an Aja Brown. P. Diddy couldn't have said it better. This is the fairy tale, man. And fairy tales do come true because we got millions of cats that are coming up with that hustling spirit and drive. They got that mention, that drive. Bill Lyons had that drive to overcome all obstacles. Bill Lyons isn't just a clothing line or just a brand. It's a movement. Bill Lyons is Compton. Compton is Bill Lyons. Respect the perspective. Bill Lyons.
Turn up, it's your boy Compton AV, you live from the Hub, man. Big shout outs to Hub Radio. We in the building, yeah. Money dance.
The Hub Radio. The Hub Radio.
When you die, somebody else was born, but at least we got to say we ran on the digit, we ran on the money, we ran on the digit, we ran on that money, we ran on the digit, we ran on the money. We ran on the digit, we ran on the money, we ran on the digit, we ran on some money.
Cleanup Man. We provide professional, affordable, dependable services from carpet cleaning and upholstery to flooring, 7 days a week, same day or by appointment. So call, text, or message 562-279-6488 for service as good as advertised.
Tea Time. It's your boy Witty B, and that is. You already know what it is. You already know what we talk about. You already know what we do. I want to finish discussing that last topic, specifically just because we're out here in California. I just want everybody to be safe. I got a lot of homies out in Orange County. I got people out in LA, and they're starting to bring these rallies out this way. There's a rally apparently going on out in Laguna. When is it? Sunday. Out on Sunday. So just be careful. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of counter protesters out there, which I'm not against. Just be careful. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just crazy. It's 2017, and these are the issues we're dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I feel like it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? To be completely honest, I don't 100%.
Stay tuned. So they're coming up. They're setting up. So they're coming to Laguna Beach, and they're gonna have this protest where they need to be heard. They want to be heard. They're gonna start. They're speaking. I've never seen it, so I need to be told.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping like the rallies they had out there.
Yeah, like that's what. Yeah.
You know, they had some rallies out in Anaheim not too long ago. They turned out violent. I don't know if anybody died. A lot of people got stabbed. A lot of people got hurt. But yeah, that was out in Anaheim. That was just a few months ago. I think that was right after like Trump got elected.
So they meet up, and it's all this tension, and then they got boards protesting, doing all this, and then shit
protesting, promoting white supremacy and Nazi neo, which is crazy because we're in America, and even the president like not acknowledging that these people are the enemies inside the states. We have to rid ourselves of these people. These are neo-Nazis. These are literally the people we were fighting in the last World War. These were the enemies. So you saying that there are good people amongst your ranks? They're nice. What do you mean? The enemy has infiltrated the ranks. The enemy has infiltrated, the front lines. The enemy from the people that literally just killed all those Jewish people that inspired all the racism around the world. Like they're right here, and they're rallying to be known in the streets. And all you can say is there's good people amongst them too. First coming down and saying they're thugs, but at the same time, like going back on that. What are you talking about? Like we've just been infiltrated. We have just.
From what you heard, they're saying that they want a voice.
I mean, that's their main thing. Like they're talking about taking down like Confederate statues and taking down the Confederate flag and things like that. And this is the only thing they're talking about. So they're talking about we don't want people messing with our heritage and our culture, but the Confederate flag, the Civil War, what's his name, Ely or whatever his name is. These people were literally, the Civil War was literally fought for nothing else than slavery. That was the biggest topic in there. If you look, everything was on the back of slavery. That whole war was on the back because the South and the Confederates wanted slavery and the Union did not want slavery. In the discussion. So to want these monuments to stand for and that they symbolize how you feel. And they're coming out and just basically saying how they feel and it's real. And they be talking about I'm not racist, but that's just our culture. Your culture is how is your culture a bunch of hate, but you don't expect us to not want nothing to do with you in our United States of America. It's a trip. It's how many people would have to lose their lives talking about this? How many people would have to lose their lives fighting against this? How many people why do we still have to fight in the streets for this? So this
one I'm gonna ask you. So I'm not a protester.
Yeah.
Mike Brown unfortunately was killed right there. Right by me, and I didn't go protest. I didn't go stand. I'm just not one of those people who even involve myself in it. I'm for it, I agree with y'all, but I just am not one of those people who go up and protest with my, boards and really involve myself like that for certain reasons. I get hit because I know how I am and how passionate I am. So how are you with protesting? Are you really into going if they can't?
I'm not. To be completely honest, I haven't gone to any protest. If I had the opportunity to go, if I had the opportunity to go, to really go, I would. I had a couple of chances to go. One was places out in LA. I live kind of far, and I just didn't make that drive to a couple of rallies they had. I should have went. I feel bad about not going. That's why I said when I have this platform now, I feel like what I can do at this point is I can really speak to a larger audience. I don't have to just be on Facebook talks. I I don't like talking about that stuff on social media because I feel like it serves no purpose at the end of the day. But when you have a platform like this, you know, even with the music and things like that, I feel like I can talk about it. I can inspire somebody. I can, you know, be the voice for somebody who's not, you know, afraid to speak. You know, at the same time, I advocate business in our community. So my way of helping us is like, I want to help build us up. So it's like, I do understand we do need those people on the front line, and I wouldn't mind going out there. Like, I'm not against going out to the front lines. We do need those people out on the front lines, going against these people and pushing back on their forces. But you can also help by building up our defenses.
So
you know what I'm saying?
That we can, and I'm just one of those people. Like, I'm not really finna go. I'm not finna go. Protesting, you know. I'm gonna sit back. There's so much we can do. We can educate ourselves.
We can educate ourselves, our people, our family.
Educate ourselves.
We can keep them. We can bring money to our community and help the people in the community. But that's just real talk here on Tea Time. So we about to wrap it up. It was a great show. Ended up coming together beautifully. I'm Reedy Banner.
I'm Nene Banner.
You've been watching Tea Time on thehubradio.net. We love y'all.